23rd century fisticuffs. It's one of my focuses.
I gave you the option for a bar brawl in that first episode, and you turned it down.
You did, but you know what? It's okay. It's for the best.
I was.
Because now I get to fight alongside those Klingons against these pirates.
They would have respected the hell out of you if you had just gone straight for the glass jaw.
I wanted to, but I had to give
Because we
my
all know that
captain-
Klingons drop with a single hit.
I need to know, is that fighting style
Everything
with
we know
the
from
double
war.
fist, the Gorn
Oh
punch?
yeah, and of course the jump and double kick in the chest.
Nice.
You know,
You know what? The captain isn't on board the Klingon ship right now.
it's true.
If you want to start punching some people, I will only be disappointed if you lose.
I'm just gonna do this with my hands, and then I move towards you, and if anyone gets hit, it's your own fault. This is standard Starfleet hello. Swinging punches in the air until people walk in the way.
Space, the thing we have to cross. These are the voyages of the U.S.S. Horizon. Its ongoing mission, to seek out new life, to swear it was on stun the whole time, and to boldly claim we can fix it.
Welcome to the Terrible Warriors, and welcome back to our Star Trek Adventure campaign as we play through the Living campaign from Modiphius Entertainment. We are in our episode 3 of the Convoy of SE-117? I keep forgetting what the number is, but we've also colloquially been known as Bloodbath and Beyond. We are the crew of the Horizon, tasked with a mission to shepherd a convoy of 10 cargo ships to an array, a Klingon science array, deep in the Shackleton Expanse. And a few weeks into our journey, power drops as we hit into electromagnetic eddies. Disabled and trying to repair the ships, we are beset upon by pirates. It's a trap! Oh wait, that's a different franchise.
Oh,
Here I am around the table with our...
Oh, you did it! You've done it! We're done! We're done! We don't have to do a show anymore. All right.
Sit down, Captain! You got a job to do!
All right. I am Conal MacBeth, better known in the nerd community as Toronto's greatest supervillain and evil genius, Dr. Terawatt, playing Captain Gavin Schofield.
And sitting at his left side, but actually his right-hand man.
I am Joshua Barbeau, playing First Officer Conal Haddock. Not a Klingon, but he does have the heart of one.
Hashtag not a Klingon.
Hashtag.
I'm Brent, the Closet Geek from the Showhole podcast, and I am playing Ensign Steve Armstrong, currently in a shuttlecraft without guns. This will be fun.
And joining him on the shuttlecraft, though, you are not alone. You have our Patreon rewards program, our science officer, Lieutenant Akir.
Yes, our Lieutenant Arjun O'Keir, played by me, Andy Hughes.
Andy
Hello
Hughes.
again, guys.
Hello, welcome
Hello,
back,
Andy.
Welcome back, Andy.
I have drawn out here a map because I think we're going to need to keep track. We are starting in fucking combat. We are just going into this. This is, we last pulled away fighters, like single pilot fighters are moving in on the cargo, and the sky lights up with yellow phaser fire. I have drawn for you the most amazing map. It is really just the best.
It's
theater
awe-inspiring.
outlined.
It is awe-inspiring. You guys at home, I really wish you could see it.
This is
so
where you're
good.
sitting at. On our left-hand side, we have the U.S.S. Horizon. The U.S.S. Horizon has not been damaged. It's doing pretty well. In fact, Captain, since you're the one on board, I'm just going to give you the character sheet so you've got it there for you.
Thank you.
Also, as a point, we are starting with no momentum, so you better start rolling some difficulties.
I plan to give you some threat right off the bat.
Excellent. And I'm starting with 8 threat, which I can use to avoid damage, call in reinforcements, give myself extra moves. I can do a whole bunch of shit with this stuff. So, on this map, though, you're not in a good place. You're laid out like ducks in a row. In the middle, on the left side of the map, you got the Horizon. It's doing okay. All shields. You're not hurt. But in a way, this is like Superman looking after Metropolis. Well, Metropolis is under attack. On the other side of the map, you have your Klingon counterpart, the Mapul, the warship. It is not in a good place. It flew right into one of those eddies and it dropped out of warp and it took some major structural damage. Its shields are not yet repaired. Its engines are still down. You have Commander Haddock restored life support and basic power functions to the ship. You might be able to get sensors and weapons up and running, but probably not before one of the pirate freighters docks with the ship and begins to board it. Their goal is to board the escort ships so that they can capture the cargo vessels. In the center, wedged between the Horizon and the Mapool, are your 10 cargo ships. The cargo ships have a crew complement of, just under a dozen. They're not a lot. They're carrying supplies and personnel for the array station that you're sending them to, and they're a mix of Klingon and human scientists and engineers. On each of those ships, you have 2 crew members that you have sent from the Horizon to help repair systems. It also means your support number is at 0. You cannot invoke any new characters because all your shuttlecrafts have been sent out and your number is down. So you're stretched to the limit here. It does mean that you can send orders out to them and see how they can help out, and they might be able to bring in some assist roles to help you out.
I have a question about that.
If you need the crew members on the cargo ships to help run interference. You were able to extend the shields on the Horizon to cover half of the cargo ships. So 5 of the 10 are covered by your shields, but because of that, the shields being extended means they're also weaker.
Yeah.
So your shield power is currently at half, and when those go down, the Horizon will have no shields, and you will no longer be protecting the cargo ships. So they're opening fire on that immediately. On the edge of this map, we have our shuttlecraft. In that shuttlecraft is Steve Armstrong and Ojen Arkir. The shuttlecraft was sent out to map a way out of the eddies. You have found that map. You have a safe route out. You can begin transmitting that right now. None of that matters if they capture all the cargo ships and destroy both of the vessels. You do have warp capabilities, you have a full advanced sensor array, and your shields are at full power, but you have no onboard weapon systems, at least in the traditional sense. So, tell me you're going to be thinking about that, but you are, in terms of the rounds as well, you are 2 zones. Well, you're 3 zones away from the Horizon or the Mapool, and 2 zones away from the cargo vessels.
So we're a couple turns then.
But you're surrounded by the eddies. There are also electromagnetic eddies in the corners of this map, but they just represent, they're kind of all around.
They're like little swirls.
And so, in terms of
electromagnetic
traits,
stuff.
this is another complication here for your rolls. We were able to remove the complications because we were able to repair things on the Horizon, but everyone else is going to have to suffer from them. The electromagnetic eddies are causing electromagnetic interference to your sensors and your shields. All rolls involving sensors will have an increased difficulty by 1, except for rolls happening on the Horizon because things were repaired and they have an advanced sensor suite specifically equipped for this mission. On top of that, communications are going to be scrambled. So there's an increased difficulty. You'll have to roll, and if an effect is rolled, you won't actually be able to send orders to NPCs or each other. We know that it is safe to transport, but it is not simple to transport. So in a pinch, the transporter systems do work, but especially in combat, it doesn't matter because your shields are up anyways. So, electromagnetic interference, a dozen fighters, 2 freighters, each assigned to one of the escort vessels, and the shuttlecraft on the end. Have I painted your picture?
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Quite
Picture
bad.
painted.
Quite a bit.
It is 6:14. We have 45 minutes to the end of this episode.
Let's do it.
We will start. The surprise round comes in with the fighters opening fire. I'm going to just bring up their stats, and they're going to be attacking both the cargo ships and the Horizon shields.
I have a mechanics
They're not targeting the
question.
Horizon directly. They're targeting the cargo ships behind the Horizon shields. So I have here's the pirate fighters and pirate freighters. So they have they're equipped with disruptor banks, and they're using weapons and security. It's not that high. It's only a 10. So I'm just gonna roll. I got a couple of them here. I'm going to roll half of them now and half of them... Oh, no, it doesn't work like that. It works, I roll 1, then you guys do 1 move, and then I do it. But when you've finished all your moves, then I finish up whoever's left over. All right? So one of the fighters is going to open fire on... I'm going to make it with the freighter that's going for the Mapool. It's attacking the hull of the Mapool so that it can board your ship. So
I have a question about the mechanics here. Our support number that allows us to access new NPCs in a moment's crisis comes from the ship, correct?
Comes from the ship.
Does the Mapool have its own support number?
It does, but you're not a member of that crew.
Right, so I can't.
So you're sort of just dealing with what they have, and
Gotcha.
you've become like a support member that they've called in.
I understand.
Right? So I'm going to have, but that's actually, if you had momentum, you could call in like favors like that. But you've got the crew on your side here, and like we said, well, you got like what did I say? 20 hardened Klingon warriors.
That's what
like
you said,
you're doing pretty well there. So the ship does. Oh, that is too high. So it fires. It opens fire on the Mapool, and it's moving into like dock, but it doesn't do any actual damage. The torpedoes go wide. And likely the electromagnetic interference have messed up their targeting. Doesn't matter. The Mapool's still disabled. It just needs to move in and dock, and it moves into close range because you can do like that movement as well as rolling an action, and it moves into close range, and it will be docking the next time it gets its turn. So before I take another roll, you get to decide among the four of you who would like to take a move. The initiative works more collaboratively that way. And if other players want to assist, Captain, you're able to assist rolls from your position of giving orders, as well as however you want to have. If anyone's got something that you really want to itch to and get ready for, we can be prepared for that. So who would like to go?
I want to take some Klingons and be at that loading dock.
Okay, so
when they show up.
beamed onto the bridge, and the captain is there, and you want to head to the loading dock, and he's already getting his weapons and loading up, and he's heading out the door to like lead the charge.
I'm going with him.
And you join up beside him, and he just sees you, and he hands you one of his.
I have a MacBeth.
You've got your MacBeth out, and so he just goes, Today will be a good day to die, and he goes out the door, and they're totally on board with that. If you would like to roll, you can set up an advantage. It will be a difficulty 0, so your successes will just add to momentum to the pool. But you can roll here to create an advantage, like setting up an ambush zone in the area that you most likely think they're going to board the ship.
Sure.
And so that would be
Daring and security?
Daring and security, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a nice tactical roll.
I'm rolling.
You're having to think inside the mind of a pirate. Where are they going to cut through the hole? Exactly. And you're going to set up an ambush in the hallways.
So two of these, and I got to roll below a number, right? All right.
And do you have anything in your focuses?
I have my focuses. I've got cowboy diplomacy.
Yeah, or
that applies.
Don't you have that hand-to-hand combat thing?
I also have 23rd century.
That'll help in actual physical combat.
Okay.
I'm just
but
thinking
more
if
in terms of
that helps you
predicting
with your
where they
strategy.
might board. Cowboy diplomacy definitely applies.
Maybe not really. I'm not going to allow it.
No.
It's something on a more tactical sense. The diplomacy isn't going to help you think strategically in a battle.
Okay.
Cowboy diplomacy is I'm going to punch the guy out and he's going to tell me what to do.
I got you.
Anyway, what was your rolls?
I rolled
your dice?
I rolled 10 and 3, so the 3 is below my security.
So the 3 is below your security, and the 10 was security plus daring.
Yes.
So what's that number? When you
14. So
14.
both of
So
them
you're
are
rolling
below
under
14.
14.
2 successes.
So you got 2 successes. So you add 2 momentum. You can spend 1 momentum, and I will tell you where they're going to board the ship.
So spending momentum means giving you a threat in this case because we don't have
you just gain 2 momentum.
Sorry.
And you can either add threat, but you can use the ask momentum spend.
I will spend 1 momentum to know exactly where they plan to board the ship.
Put the momentum on the table for anyone else to use. So that's been generated.
We still have 1.
So you now have 1 momentum, and you learn that they're going to be moving into the aft section between the 2 nacelles. They're moving up behind the Mapool, and they're coming down into the top where the turrets are, and they're going to cut through the top, like the ventral section. No, ventral's the bottom. The top
Dorsal?
of the ship. The dorsal of the ship near the aft of the Mapool. They're going to lower themselves down and cut through what will be your roof, and then lower themselves down into one of the larger cargo hallways at the back of the ship. Their plans are to take the engines.
Awesome.
And if they can take out the engines, they'll take the ship. So you line your Klingons up, and you let Akul know, and he goes, he agrees with you, and the 2 of you coordinate the security officers on the ship into their ambush zone. We will get to that in the next round when they board the ship.
Nice.
So back to the pirates. The other freighter moving in towards the horizon opens fire on the horizon shields. That is a 20 and a 17. So a complication arises when it fires, and it gets one of the phaser fires coming off of the freighter gets caught up in one of those eddy swirls, and it goes wild, and it takes out one of the fighters.
Oh, nice.
Like it's just, and so you've now seen there's another potential advantage in the eddies work as weird lenses for energy-based weapons. There's something going on. And so one of the weapons goes off and it hits your shield but doesn't do any damage. And the other kind of gets pulled almost magnetically, and it curves in the air into one of the eddies, swirls, and then it goes out and just knocks out. There's like a dozen. It was just luck, and just goes boom, and one's just gone in fireworks. So now you're down to 11 fighters. Because I rolled a 20. That's supposed to be a complication. That sounds like a good complication to me. Right. And that's my roll with. So the two fighters. So the one moving in on the horizon doesn't do any damage to the shields. Those 5 are okay. The fighters are now moving into the cargo ships. I'll be moving into that in my next roll. So 3 people remain. Who wants to go?
I was wondering if I could shoot an order over to the shuttle.
Yep. To Armstrong or to your repair crews?
To Armstrong.
Okay.
Does that count as my turn?
You guys
to do
can
that?
just talk freely amongst each other.
well,
You can
well,
still
well,
role play scenes out. It's just when it comes down to you each get one roll as a team before I then get a move.
I mean, I got some wild ideas, but what are you thinking there, Captain?
What I was just saying is just like you guys are already out there with the science equipment. I need you to give me as comprehensive a map as as you can make of the electromagnetic bending that's happening right now out there, because I just saw one of their shots get curved by this and another one get eaten up by an eddy and shot back out, and I'm thinking we might be able to use that to our advantage if we can see where that is, or at the very least if you can give me like a map, I can avoid that.
So start running algorithms to predict the eddies.
Yeah, like
we already mapped out. We've already mapped that out.
Yeah, like if you map out the electromagnetic stuff, then I can figure out where that is, and so I can be like, okay, if I fire here, then it'll hit straight, or if I fire into this area, it'll
we
curve
mapped
to there, right?
the safe route out there, but we probably need to do like a more focused scan of the eddies to be able to predict what's going on
there. There might be some fun for you as a pilot here. If you do some close flybys of those eddies, you can get some like real close-up internal scans of how they work, and your science officers on board can run the sensor sweep over them. But it's going to require a flyby. Like, you can't just do from the vantage points you're in. It means actually going up and doing a quick orbit around the eddy, and then like click, 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 getting like a nice little
picture of it
from close board. So it would be like a daring and con roll. And then meanwhile, sensors and science from your science officer together to see if you can then generate another advantage of, gravitational lensing or something, right?
Yeah. Right. Okay. So
mind if we roleplay this out? I was like, actually, Captain, I might have an idea. What was your crap? What was the ensign's name again?
It doesn't matter. He's just the ensign on the ship.
Hey,
Armstrong.
If the ensign can get close to one of these eddies, I can actually probably figure out the lensing effect. Maybe we can use it to our advantage.
Does that sound good, Schofield?
It does.
All right.
Make it so.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that.
You walked me into it.
So do we want to do a roll for that? Do you want to maybe give a command and presence to give them bonuses?
Yeah. Do I roll 1 or 2?
You roll 2.
Okay. So.
Or how about this? Why don't we hold on? You'll roll 1 dice as an assist.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll do an
assist. And you guys can do this right now. So why don't we go ahead and you're moving in because you're only 1 square away, so you can spend your movement to get into the eddy.
But then we probably need another task in order to.
You do your movement and then you do the task.
Okay.
Here.
Well, can I spend that 1 momentum, because if I have this flyby skill and it won't increase the difficulty of this second task, and then I can do 2 things in one go.
Good man. So let me read exactly what this flyby skill does. Whenever you use the swift movement, do not increase the difficulty of the second task. Okay, so whenever you use swift momentum spends, normally the second roll gets an additional 1 difficulty added to it. I'm not having you do 2 moves though.
Okay.
These are simultaneous. I got the science officer doing 1 move and you doing 1 move.
I figured we were moving and then having
they're doing the sensor during your flyby.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, basically we're doing both tasks at the same time.
If you want to, you can spend a momentum spend to roll 2. So you would roll 1 to do the eddy flyby and another to escape the eddy and get you over to the horizon.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, that's probably a good call.
It moves you because see where the map is. You can move into the eddy, which is in your zone.
Right.
Then you can spend the movement to cross 2
to sort of get into the shields,
and you can cross through the horizon shields because you have the command codes.
Right.
And you both run on the same frequency, so your shields can pass through their shields harmlessly. Okay. So you can even get back on board the ship or move in to assist the cargo vessels.
Okay.
But that puts you in a more strategic
position.
way.
Right.
Do it.
All right,
do
so
it.
take that, and then
Sorry, that's your line.
This will be daring and con, I would imagine.
Daring and con for the first one, and then daring and control to escape the eddy and get into the horizon. Are you cool with
daring
that?
and control and daring are.
Sorry, I meant control and con.
For the second.
Daring is for the risky flyby, and control is to escape out and get to the horizon. I'm just trying to mix it up.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, so
let's just do the first roll first.
In my role, it's gonna be reason and science.
Akir, I'm gonna reason and science.
Electromagnetism.
Yeah, it can be reason and science or control and science because you're using the sensor systems on board the shuttlecraft. And I will roll for the shuttlecraft as an assist because I got the stats in front of me. Your systems on the ship do have a sensors of 5, so if I can roll under that, you also get like another success.
Okay.
So electromagnetic, I had a difficulty of 2 for electromagnetic eddies. So that's your, for you, Akir, your difficulty is set at 2. You need to get 2. You need to get 2 successes in order to count as winning.
And with my
out
reason
on
and science, my target number, my number to beat, the number to get under is 16.
That's fine.
So yeah.
So you need more than 2 dice in order to win at this.
I say, well, you got your assist.
I rolled a 4 under 5.
Okay, great. So you get 1 success, but do you want to put that towards your pilot or towards your sensor sweep?
I need more information, so I'm gonna put it towards the sensor sweep.
Okay, so Akir, you have 1 success coming in on your side, and the shuttle isn't going to be much help, unfortunately. So you,
but your captain.
But if you have any
confidence.
determination points and any values, I remember I've got your character sheet down here.
Determination.
Here we are, Arjun. You have I mean, even respecting the balance or peace in the void, you can both use as like, I'm really cool out here, like cool under pressure, and so you this is your jam, is doing things by yourself.
Right.
So you can use that to spend 1 of your determination points, of which you have at least 1.
I think there's peace in the void. I'll actually use that.
Cool. So you'll get 3 dice. That's already at a 1. So you have 2 successes, 1 from the captain and 1 from that, and now roll your 2 dice.
Right, and it's under 16. How do you go? Let's see this. 5 and a 10, so 2 successes, and it's not under 4, so no advantages.
Okay, so you got 2 successes.
But if
yes,
the other one would have been a 1, so that would be an advantage,
so
right?
He's got 1 advantage, and he's got 4 successes in total. So I'm just gonna put these aside because this is also all dependent on your pilot now.
Right.
So now we actually have to do the maneuver. So we know mechanically that this is going to succeed in the event that your maneuver works.
So
same deal is I can roll an assist for comms and con. Not comms, sorry. Engines and con is a 6.
Okay, so I got 2 successes here for this is the daring and con roll. So yeah, I got 2 successes there.
Okay, unfortunately the assist roll is not going to be on your side.
Can I throw in one of my drive for exploration? Would that work as challenging this value?
Yeah.
Spend a determination?
Cool.
All right, so I'll cross that.
And that should be all of your determination for now until we challenge your values.
Yeah. Okay,
cool. So you get 1, so you have your 3 successes. So you get the you beat the 2 difficulty, you get your success, you beat your 2 difficulty, and you have 2 more successes. So you successfully maneuver the flyby, and Arjun, you have 2 momentum to spend on information, and one of them is just learning what algorithms on how the eddies are flowing. As we learned before, some of them are randomly generated and some of them seem to be artificially created. But you do think that there is a way that you can fire the phasers in and create a lensing effect to be able to basically kind of like do a bank shot. Where you can, you don't have to shoot straight. You can curve around a corner if you need to do that. But it might not be as strategically advantageous of just targeting the ships and firing them with like phaser spread.
But now he should also know where not to shoot to create those.
So you got a nice map. So when it comes to your targeting your ships from the horizon, your difficulty will be lowered by 1.
Nice.
Because you've gotten some more information on the nature of the eddies and their effects on energy weapons.
Data incoming, Captain.
And we'll throw in...
Excellent.
So you end that scene with 2 additional momentum that we can spend into the combat. I'm just going to quickly roll the fighters to see what happens over there. 8 and 5, both of them are going to succeed. So 2 of the fighters land on 5 of the 5 unprotected cargos.
Oh, damn.
They've like clasped onto it, and your sensors are showing that the pilots on board are attempting to board and capture the cargo vessels.
All right, well, we are going to open fire with the phasers that we've got now that we have this information.
All right, yeah.
And we are going to I'm going to be opening fire and focusing on the fighters.
Okay, so you've got your assist roll from the ship.
Did I have another roll to do to
Brent
get
not
away
have
from the
another
Eddie?
roll?
Go ahead and roll.
Actually, yeah, let's resolve that
Let's
first.
see if you've got
All
that
right,
coming in.
this is a control and con.
You're right. I moved ahead.
That's okay.
Forgot
No,
about
that's
it.
totally fine.
I got 1 success and 1 not.
Okay.
Well, shoot.
So you're going to
He
get
got you
to the
information,
horizon,
and then
but you're-
Goodbye, Captain.
you're gonna I'm gonna say the eddies kind of throw you in for a spin. You do move the momentum, but I do have to roll the dice here. If this is gonna be damage or effects, right? Remember, 1 and 2 are values for damage. 3 and 4s are blanks. 5 and 6 are effects. If I roll an effect, you're going off course.
Okay.
And if I roll damage, you'll get to the horizon, but you're going to get ripped apart a bit. So you 2 take damage.
Cool.
So your shields were at 4, your power is at 3. You lose power to the ship, your power is down to 2, and your shields are down to 3. So both like this.
So we're just moving on momentum right now.
So your ship gets hit, and you're down to only 3 shields on your ship, and then you kind of like as you're going, one of like the one of the tendrils of the eddy like whip the side of the ship, and it doesn't knock you off course. You're able to keep control of the ship, but it really buffers you, and you shake around a lot, and something explodes, and it's pretty cool.
Damn it, Armstrong, learn to fly
So
better.
then,
Sparks.
then the 2 fighters come and they dock on 2 of the 10 cargo ships, and they're attempting to capture and presumably steal them. As the freighters, you have a giant freighter like moving in between you and the cargo ships, and the Mapool you can see on your
I
view
thought
screen. It's coming into dock.
Okay, as you say, because like the one that's going in for the Mapool, I'm just like I'm not going to steal that fun away from the Klingons, at least not right yet.
And you have a freighter who's
there's another freighter
engaging.
coming straight at us, but I figured if they were coming at us from the front,
You're a big ship. You can do
And-
360 stuff.
and
Yeah.
the dudes are next to us, I was like, I want to try to fire on the fighters,
Mm-hmm.
and if it means allowing this larger freighter to board us, I will allow that. If it means I can use the phasers to save the cargo
Yes.
ships,
You will create an
Yeah.
advantage for the freighter then.
because I'm focus firing away from it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not focusing on it right now.
And it's going to continue to lay down fire on your ship.
Yep.
So absolutely. So fire phasers.
All right, so I'm gonna roll the support from the ship first.
So your
which
phaser
is...
ray does damage of 7.
Oh,
so
shit.
if you succeed at this attack, you will roll 7 of those dice
Jesus
to deal how much damage or effects are spread
like
out.
spread out amongst the fighters.
So you could take out like a whole bunch of fighters.
Now, the effects
yeah.
would have been the eddies taking it away, but because of your advanced roll, the 5 will also count as a blank. Only 6s will take the effect of redirecting your phaser fire.
Oh, nice.
Right? I'll count that towards your like lower difficulty.
Excellent.
Just the sensors.
So do I roll 1 for the ship and then 2 for myself?
So you're
or-
rolling 3 dice.
Okay,
Yeah, because the ship
so-
counts as an assist.
if I may.
But the numbers you're adding are going to be on your
On
like
my thing
either
here.
command or security, whichever way you think fits the context of where you are, plus one of your attributes, again fitting your context. The ship will be a more straightforward
I'm gonna use
weapons plus security.
I'm gonna use daring and command because I'm gonna have whoever's on weapons right now is if it's
Well, it's obviously Stephen Prince.
Yeah, it's gonna say security officer Steve. I'm gonna give him a daring order to fire on the fighters and focus on them because our main mission is keeping the cargo supplies safe.
Yeah.
Because
your
handle
shields.
like
Your shields, you have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 shields, except
Yeah.
it counts as 4 because you've got them extended.
because they're extended out. But even so, like even without shields, our ship can withstand a lot more damage from one of these freighters.
I can tell you, as
they cannot
Game
withstand from these
Master,
fighters.
you got lucky that both my dice missed, and one of them was a 20.
Yeah.
If any of them had succeeded, I would have been rolling 6 dice of damage. So I only need like half of those dice to deal
That's a
damage, and
lot
your
of
shields are down.
damage.
I could do your shields down in one move.
Yeah.
Our shields are at like 40% right now, or
But we're also protecting half the ships. Well, the reason why they're at 50% strength is because we've stretched them out to cover half the.
You have a
half the ship.
resistance of 6, so that's sometimes counts as like the difficulty amount, but that's more again for. I don't really know how that works. I'm just trying to play this fast and loose.
Gotcha.
That's okay. All right, I'm gonna roll these. We're gonna get under 15, and we've got.
I was gonna say
one.
this guy likes to roll
Oh,
high.
you got a
which-
complication.
Yeah, we got a
That's my
complication.
player killer die.
But we have also an advantage.
Yes.
Okay, so you get an advantage. Complication, I'm going to invoke more electromagnetic eddies. Your ship continues to drain power. And if your power drops too low, your shields won't be able to extend the extension.
Okay.
And they'll snap back to just protecting your ship.
Okay.
So with that complication, you are losing power again. So like, remember how you stabilize things right
Yeah,
after
I
you
managed to
arrived?
get it stable.
You're gonna have to stabilize it again. You're gonna have to spend one of your tasks on stabilizing the power on the ship, because if you don't do it in the next turn, your power is gonna drop from. I think it's the same as your resistance and support. It's like your
It
power's
might
at
be,
6. Anyway, it's gonna drop again. But if the power drops, your shields are already stretched out. You won't
And
be
we're
able
firing
to.
phasers
You won't
like
be able to
it's-
maintain that advantage
Yep.
of the extended shields.
Okay. So I have to do that before next turn, or
Because one of the things I can do with a complication is remove advantages from the field.
okay.
So you can spend the momentum to do that right now, or
Okay.
you can deal with that as your turn in the next go.
Is it okay if I spend a momentum?
Go
to
for
the
it.
team?
You're the captain. Do what
to
you
keep,
want.
So you're down to one momentum.
keep the ship stable, and the advantage.
The advantage can what kind of advantage would you like to see?
I'm trying to knock out as many of these fighters at once.
Cool. So an advantage here. How many successes did you get?
1.
1. Okay. So the fighters, they don't have a whole lot. They've got a resistance of 1. They're easy to take out. The fighters,
This guy always rolls high.
you get 1. So how many do you have on your phaser banks?
7.
That's a 7. So take 7 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Roll them. Let's see what happens here.
And that's
You
1,
get-
2, 3.
You get 2 effects and,
And,
2
yeah,
for
2
6
effects.
damage. So 6 damage goes out, but with the advantage, only 1 effect happens, which was that 6 I warned you about.
Okay.
So one of those phaser fires, which will be this one, goes in. It gets
Goes-
pulled into an eddy and
goes
goes
wide.
wild. And so
Okay.
only 4 damage lands on the fighters. The fighters only have shields of 3. So you take out one of the fighters, and one of the other fighters is basically at half power. Where you
I'll aim for the ones that are attaching to the ships right now.
Okay, so both of them are one was going in to attach, and you knock it out, and it explodes, and the other is going in to attach, and its shields are destroyed, but it still latches on to the cargo vessel. So.
right.
It just it's you're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So what's good? No, you started with 12. You started with a dozen fighters. 2 of them are gone.
Yeah, we're down to 10.
And we're down to 10, but it's taking a while to pick them out. And the worry here is they're going to be able to capture some cargo vessels before that happens. And in fact, I'm going to.
watch.
Complication. But 2 more successes. So 2 more fighters are moving in to capture. So let's say this guy on the map, he's safe. He's being latched onto, and these 2 are now being latched onto. So 3 of them are being captured, but this fighter that's going in, the eddy pulls it, something happens gravitationally, and it collides with your shield, and it goes up.
Own it, and it lights up.
And it lights up, because I got
All
no
right.
problem dropping them like flies. So you're now down to 9 fighters.
So there's 9
Whenever
left.
I roll a complication, it's going to drop a fighter. And so that leaves us, we have, well, technically you've all rolled, because I allowed Armstrong and Akira to happen. So I'm just going to roll through the rest of the fighters. What do we have?
9 left.
Well, there's 9 left that are still alive, but most of them have already taken their action. At this
Yeah,
point.
most of them have only taken action, so I'm just gonna roll.
And both of the freighters also took their action this turn.
So 0, only 2 successes. So these last fighters are trying to take in your shields, and they can't get through the shields because they don't have the prefix codes. And they fire from their phaser banks. Their phaser banks are quite weak. 2 of them land hits. Ooh.
Oh.
Dealing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage.
Shit.
So they open fire on your shields. Your shields are usually quite robust. You have a resistance. We don't really know how the resistance works with shields. Let's make it dramatic. Your shields are down.
Okay.
So you were able to hold them off for a full round, but the extended shields were tough and hold to keep them up. You can restore power to the shields by spending power from your ship, but your shields, for what their worth was, they've dropped down. They still protect the horizon at 25%,
Okay.
but you're no longer able to sustain the active shields.
So we still have like 2 shields.
Yeah.
No, there's 10 shields. So 5 would have just dropped it. Yeah. So then there'd be like 3 if you're rounding up.
Yeah, because I was saying you had 4 shields mechanically for the extension because it halved everything.
Yeah.
And so at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Sorry, 5 shields
Yeah, it would have been
mechanically.
5,
I
which you
dealt
did
5
5,
damage.
so it just was enough.
So you take out the 5, and so actually here, why don't we say you've lost 5 shields, you still have 5. But you're no longer able to keep them extended.
Okay.
So you're at 50% power. Your shields
Yeah.
are at 50%. Horizon is still okay, but those remaining cargo vessels are no longer protected. In the next round, they're going to be able to start capturing the same way they did the other 5.
God damn.
So you've got 3 are down, 2 are safe, and now they're moving in for the other 5.
Oh, peas and
But there's only 5 fighters, so there's not. You're at a point where there's not as many fighters as there are cargo ships.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be able to get them all.
There's 9 left, so we have to make this happen.
Top of the round, Commander Haddock, back on the Mapool.
Yes.
You hear the cutting through the hull,
Go stab some people.
I'm working on it.
and the ceiling explodes, and they drop down and just start opening fire into the clouded hallway.
yeah.
And
Let's
the other
do
Klingons,
this.
these Klingons aren't opening fire; they're doing hand to hand.
Oh, yeah, me
and
too.
they start
I'm
moving
going right
into
with
it.
them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Oh, yeah,
you're
yeah,
charging
yeah.
in. Okay, so
Yeah.
so
Front lines with the captain.
So like 4 pirates jump down into the hallway, and immediately there's a dozen Klingons on them, and they're just getting torn apart.
Leading the way, showing the Klingons how it's done.
Oh my god, I'm looking forward to your report. Okay, so go ahead and roll here with you get your focus for 23rd century fisticuffs.
Right, and my value, Heart of a Warrior.
Oh, would you want to
also
throw in an
applies.
extra dice?
I would love to.
Okay,
Can
so
I kill an extra person?
You've
with
got a
this extra
dice already at 1, so you definitely have 1 success.
Well, bam.
The difficulty, you know what? This ambush is so, they are not ready for this. The difficulty's at 0. Just roll for success. Just see how many men you
See
kill.
how many I kill. All right, this is definitely what daring.
Are you
plus
actually going
security,
for
right?
lethal effect, though?
Oh yeah.
He's
Okay,
got a
wait,
mech.
First of all, what are we fighting?
Every time you roll for lethal effect, I get threat.
Oh.
Because this is still Star Trek.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say
cool.
like, oh man,
The
Star Trek.
Klingons can kill them. But if you're going for lethal effect, which is fine given the
cut off legs.
circumstances, I'm going to get threat every
Okay.
dice you roll
Okay.
for lethal.
What's the compromise here? Can I go for not lethal but definitely dismembering effect?
You could use your phaser on stun.
No, I'm using my vicious MacBeth here.
Yeah, there's no way to use because of its vicious stat.
No, that's
the
fine.
Mechlith only deals lethal damage.
Whatever. When in Rome, I'm on a Klingon ship.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
Let's do it.
Go
the
big or
Klingon
go
way.
home, man.
All right.
1, 2. Oh shit.
This was what? What was this? Daring plus security?
Yeah.
Daring plus security.
Okay, so with my 1 that I bought, that's 2 successes, one of which is an advantage. Could
Okay,
be
so how much damage do I have next to your Mechlith? What's the
MacBeth
number?
is 6,
So take
but vicious 1, whatever
1,
that.
2, 3, 4, 5. So take this 6. You succeed. So
Oh, I
roll
got
those-
6 dice right here.
Roll 6 d6s.
The black ones.
And how many dice did you roll? You rolled 3?
yeah,
3.
Well, yeah, 3.
Okay, anyway, I get a threat added to my room. And I'm just
Okay.
bringing up the stats for the
Oh,
pirates
damn.
themselves.
So I have nothing but I've got 4 effects and 2 damage dice. No 3s and 4s.
2 damage, 4 effects.
So I've killed 2 guys, and 4 other guys are on the ground with their arms cut off?
It's 2 damage, so you might not even kill
Well, they're
one guy.
rolling opposed to you. So they're the guy you come at is also rolling same deal, daring security.
Yeah.
And he gets 2 successes. So how many successes did you have?
2. I had so the one.
You had 2 successes, but one is an advantage.
One of them is an advantage. Yeah. Two successes, 1 advantage.
Okay. But his is ranged. He drops down with his disruptor pistol. Mm-hmm. So he takes. He's going to take. You both are basically going to exchange fire. So I'm going to get to roll as well, and then he's going to shoot at you, and then you're going to run into him with your MacBeth. Mm-hmm. The disruptor pistol is vicious, but it only deals 1 damage. Okay. But it deals 1 damage lethally to you. So you can take that from your stress. Here? Yep.
Boom. Done.
And
I laugh at his pitiful attempt to take me down.
Yeah. And by all means, Commander, roll. What did you roll with your 6s?
2 damage here, and then I've got 4 effects on them.
Okay. The effects aren't going to do anything given the weapon you're using. But the 2 kick into him. They've got
Plus, I have my advantage, whatever that attributes to.
Yeah, you strip off his piecemeal armor. He just cuts it away with this MacBeth. So he loses whatever resistance he has, and he just takes the vicious damage directly to him. And you're just cutting into him. The mercenary is they're a mix of species that are jumping down, and they're just various individuals. You deal 2 damage with your MacBeth directly to his open flesh.
Sounds good.
That's real bad.
I didn't pump any arteries or anything like that.
No,
nothing critical here.
You did have some effects, so yeah.
I got rid of his armor.
He's taken on a bleeding ability, so he's going to continue to lose stress each round because of his vicious, gaping wound.
That's what happens when I get disemboweled. I get very stressed.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say he's half dead.
Sounds good.
Doesn't sound like these mercenaries are gonna be too much of a threat to the Klingons because they're waiting for them.
We're ripping them apart.
Until so a few more. Yeah, I'll just roll for it. A few more come down, and they're exchanging fire here in the hallway. 2 misses, 2 successes. They open up with phaser fire, disruptor fire, and I get a roll for both of them.
Go for it.
That's a lot of damage.
My brow is wet, but it's not sweat. I am not stressed out.
Slick with gore.
Slick with gore. Oh, God.
So they drop down, and 2 of your Klingon warriors that are in the hallway are knocked out with unarmed stun attacks.
Okay.
And 2 more disruptor fires go out, dealing damage to Akul. The captain who's out there. So when he moves in and he's exchanging hand to hand with one of the first ones, and then 2 more drop down and they just fire him into the back. And so he's taken 2 disruptor blasts to his back, and he drops. He may not be dead, but he's no longer in the position to command this hallway anymore.
So what does it take for me?
You! He's no longer in a position to command.
What does it take for me to do another action immediately?
A momentum spend to do a swift move.
Does anyone mind if I do a swift move here?
Get on it. Show them what the...
Instead of going for the fresh guys that just dropped in, I've got a lethally wounded guy who's just bleeding out in front of me, right? I want to keep stabbing that guy until he's nothing but paste in an attempt to make the ones who are still coming at us,
Scared?
Yeah, I'm adding more threat.
I want to scare.
I just want to know 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm back to 10 threat again.
That's fine. I want to brutally murder this guy, covering myself in blood, in an attempt to intimidate the ones that are still coming at us, but also in an attempt to bolster the Klingons that are still standing.
I'll tell you what, the Klingons will be bolstered, but these guys are not intimidated, which kind of freaks you out. And I'm going to spend 3 threat to reinforce them with more people.
Okay,
so
fair.
You took out 1 guy, and I've just replaced them with 3 more.
I'm covered in blood.
You are now outnumbered like 3 to 1 in this hallway.
That's okay. We're Klingons. I'm not a Klingon. They're Klingons.
You're Betazoid.
I'm
All right, back in space.
I'm getting in both.
All right.
Meanwhile, away from the bloodbath, we return to the beyond.
All right.
So, Armstrong.
Yeah, I
you're-
say to the lieutenant, I got a wacky idea. If that lensing effect works on phasers, do you think it'll work on a tractor beam? Because the cargo ships just lost their shields and there's still fighters going in on them. What if we use the lensing effect to hit a whole bunch of fighters and knock
Tractor
them
them
off course?
into the eddies.
Or
to say.
do that.
Yeah, knock it
Push or pull.
through the eddy to pull them
What do you
all
think,
into
Akir?
the eddy.
You're the science officer. You
That's
do have some focuses there on electromagnetic theory.
Yeah, that's plausible.
Yes, it sounds perfectly plausible.
Sounds exactly like Star Trek jargon.
There's a reason why you're the ensign. Yeah, quantum mechanics and electromagnetism, you could absolutely pull this off.
Just reverse the
yeah.
polarity on a couple things.
Give me a control and science roll.
Okay, so
And what are we doing here with the tractor beam?
Are we gonna push or pull them? What do you think works better there, Arjun?
You just want to kind of grab them and whip them around, don't you?
Yeah, I just want to
I wanna
screw them up because they're going
Smack
in on
them
the
into
cargo
another
ships.
fighter.
No,
Yeah.
pull them all into the eddy.
Either that or pull them into the eddy.
All right, let's
Just
pull
let
them.
the eddy tear them apart.
Let's pull a bunch of
That's lethal.
tough
Yeah, that's fine.
noogies.
That's fine. It's just
I'm upset.
I got no problem adding threats to the
noogies,
scene. I love
he
it.
says.
Okay, so you roll. You're rolling an assist because you're assisting the science officer.
All right.
Con and control because you're keeping the ship steady.
Okay.
And science officer, give me your 2 dice.
All right, so you want me
Difficulty
to
here of this
control and
is still
science,
going to be
right?
2.
You
so-
said control and science for me.
Control and science.
All right, so I got to roll under 15.
You're going to need both of them to succeed.
I got 1 success. No complication though. Thankfully.
I did not get a success on my assist roll there.
No, you didn't. So you only got 1 success. You didn't get enough. So you failed to roll. The tractor beam isn't designed for this. You're going to need extra dice. I dropped a threat something on the ground.
Can we?
You're gonna,
We don't have any momentum.
You don't have any momentum. You can definitely
Try next time.
you can buy dice
Yeah.
with threat.
I mean,
Do you really want to add more threats to the table?
Kind of.
kind of. It's otherwise we've just wasted a turn.
Buy a dice.
Let's
Buy a
buy
dice.
dice.
All right. Roll another dice there,
I'm only
Akir.
go through it. I'm only try again.
All right.
Yeah, only Akir's rolling. He's the science
Okay.
officer.
Roll another dice there, Kier.
Just another dice.
Yep.
God darn it! Same result.
Okay, well, you can buy another dice for 2 threat. This time will be 2.
Don't
Do you want to buy it?
Don't do
No,
it.
he's testing us.
Just take the
Take the fail. Take the fail. It's a wasted move. Come on,
I'll
man. You
take
guys
the
can do
fail.
it. All right,
do
those
it.
fighters are going next.
Buy it.
Oh,
Buy it.
Captain
Do it.
says buy it.
Captain orders.
Do
Buy
it.
it.
All right. You got 2 more threats. So 2, 4, 6. Hey, I'm back to 10 threat again. The fighters, you got to roll this. Come on, make it a success. You can do it. I believe in you.
I got another success.
That's how you did it. So you capture one of the fighters. This is what's happening here. Is you're trying to target. One of the fighters notices you're targeting it, and it starts moving towards you. And as it's moving towards you, it makes it a lot easier to grab it in the tractor beam. And now you got it in the tractor beam. And what? You want to just throw it
Throw
into
it
the
into an
eddy?
eddy.
So then you just move it, whoop, and it just gets consumed, and it falls into the eddy, and it just rips to shreds like it's been thrown into a carburetor.
Down to 8.
Ooh, nasty.
The fighters see this and move in on the shuttlecraft.
Oh no!
Crap.
So you get 2 fighters veer off.
Evasive maneuvers.
Super. We're on
I don't have
momentum
that.
only. Power's down here.
So 1 fighter is getting an assist from another fighter, and I have
crap.
their stats here. The freighters and fighters look almost the same in text. So weapons and security is real. They're real bad. But I got 2 successes.
Crap.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh god. Oh god.
This is gonna hurt.
3 effects, 2 damage. So your shields were down to 4, right?
Yep.
your shields,
Yep.
unless you avoid it, your shields are going to get hit, and you're down to 2 shields now. But they roll 3 effects. So some of those phaser fires go wild again, and sure, whatever. One of the phasers go around and comes back, and it shoots itself. It like perfectly mirrors onto it. Like, this is bad. So you're down to 7 fighters, but that one fighter nailed your shields, and your shields are almost down. Next turn, who wants to go? Schofield.
I'm left.
Yeah.
What's left?
You've
so
got
far?
you got another fighter now veering into the shuttlecraft, and I guess how many? We got 7 left, right? 2 have docked, 3 have docked. 2 are on the shuttle, and 2 more are going for the cargos. That's kind of nice. Let's just split them in half.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna continue opening fire.
So the shuttle
on
has
those.
moved to here.
Yeah, the shuttle has moved to
you
like
got
sort of
2
the back
fighters moving
right of our
towards.
ship.
And then these are about to get docked.
Yep.
And these are
And
this
those-
one
those three.
those have been captured and they're starting to move away. The 2 cargo vessels here
Oh, the 2 that are there.
that were captured early on have been overpowered and are starting to move. And if they can move, and this will be my turn to do it, if they can move into the outer zone, they'll warp out.
Then they're out.
We still have men on those ships.
We do still have men on those ships.
And of course, there's the civilians on the ships, but we care a little less about them.
They came in a-
Don't say
they're
that
our
out
mission.
loud!
How did she get into
Communications are
Starfleet?
recorded in transcripts and used later at court-martials.
I didn't say anything out loud. I'm on
Everything
Klingon
you
ships.
You
say
said
and
everything in
do-
Klingon. No one knows what you said.
Can and already has been used against you in the court of time law. All right. So, fuck.
And the
Damn it.
Mapool, you just see like the freighter has it is on the Mapool, and you're just hearing like open channel fight happening over on the ship.
I'm just gonna be like,
You just
turn
hear
the volume
stab,
down on
stab,
that.
stab. No! Oh God! No! I have a family! Oh!
So just so I'm understanding,
Just gonna
those
mute that
3
channel.
freighters,
That's better.
those 3 freighters have fighters docked on top of them, and together they're flying away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, obviously,
Disable them.
destroying the fighter that's on the top of them isn't going to stop them
No,
from
they're
leaving.
on the ship at this point. They're on the
Yeah,
freighter.
the people have docked it already. So even if I shoot the fighters off the
You can
top,
take out the cargo ship's engines,
I was gonna say, do we have like?
or you can tractor them.
Can we set them to stun?
Yeah, I mean you can target engines and deal like
Non-lethal
Non-lethal
damage
damage to the
ship.
cargo.
Yeah,
Cargos,
you can
you can
disable
disable them?
those ships.
All right, let's do that.
or you can
We can
tractor
always
them.
fix them later.
If you can deal with the remaining wild fighters, you could tractor them in before they leave.
Is there a way to maybe do both?
You can target multiple places at once because you're in a Galaxy class ship.
Yeah,
You
all
got
You've got a
multiple
whole lot
phaser
of things
banks,
going on
so-
here, and you can order people
Yeah,
around.
I want to order Steve to phaser fire as many of these fighters that haven't docked yet as they can, and then whoever's on tractor beams to nab those ships to stop them from leaving.
Cool. So I'm going to allow this to just come down to like your command roll giving you multiple orders.
All right.
And we'll see how many successes you get, determine how many of those orders succeed.
Can Steve the
Steering
NPC
command.
assist?
Absolutely. We can. Would you like to roll the assist roll?
Sure.
All right.
Roll under 12.
Dude, Jesus. Fuck.
Mother,
Was it 13?
it was 18.
Oh my god. So Steve is of no assistance.
As usual.
He's not
As
great at
usual.
command, Steve.
3 successes, 1 advantage.
Wow. Okay, so that ended up working in your favor despite having Steve on board the ship.
Oh, he is gonna kill me later. We managed to succeed despite him being here.
So the advantage negates the gravitational lensing happening from the eddies. So your
Okay.
phaser fires land. You disable one of the cargo ships that's making its retreat. So this one, I'm going to just put a check mark. And the this one is starting to move off. That one will continue to move off. What was the other one? You want to do something with tractors?
Well, I was gonna use tractor beams on these.
Oh, okay.
And then use phaser fire on the rest of the fighters that are still in the field.
So tractor beams can usually only take like one thing at a time.
Okay.
I mean, at least on Next Generation, we don't really see tractors being used on more than one object. But I mean, I'll allow it. These things are small.
The phasers only disabled the one.
Yeah.
All right. So then.
So I mixed up your orders. Did you want the phasers directed at the fighters?
I was going to, but if the tractors can only nab one thing at a time, so I wouldn't be able to like grab those 3 ships. If I can't do that, then I'm
Grab one,
definitely
disable
I'm
the
just
other
gonna
two.
just gonna go full phasers and disable as many of the ships as we can.
Okay, so so you got your 3 successes and advantages. So I will let's see, the phasers are 7, right?
Yep.
So let's roll those 7d6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's just see the effects and damage that's dealt out. And
Yeah.
effects will disable cargo ships, and damages will take out fighters.
Sweet, we'll do that. I appreciate that. Mwah. All right, so that's
Cool.
Boom, boom, boom. So
One,
you've got
two.
3 effects.
3 effects.
So those
and
3
2 damage.
cargo ships that were captured, you take out their engines.
Back.
Like there's no real damage into the ship; they're just not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You deal 3 additional damage, so one of the fighters moving towards the shuttle is out. So you're down to 6 fighters.
Thanks, Captain.
3 of
Thank
which
you,
are
Captain.
currently connected to cargo ships. So there's only 3
there's only
fighters
3
still in the
flying.
air, and they're still moving towards cargo vessels.
Okay.
And that's exactly what they're going to do in this turn. Oh, and I get a 1, an advantage, and I get a complication. So
One blows up.
So one blows up. That's what I was doing. So during all this going on, there's another they're moving in, and during the fighter, the one that's destroyed, some of its debris, like as a shockwave goes, it kind of knocks it out, and it falls into one of those tendrils at the edge. 'Cause this is dangerous space, and these fighters are just not really built for this thing. So it's down to 6 fighters, right? Or
It's down to 5
Down to
now.
5 fighters. Of those 5, 2 of them
2
latch on to cargo vessels.
2 more cargo vessels.
And are capturing and going to move them out.
Oh shit.
And we will.
So now all 5 of the remaining fighters
the
are
freighters haven't had their turn this round. So the freighters, we've got one freighter is currently engaged in boarding, but there's still the big one in front of the horizon who's going to open fire now on the horizon because you are a problem. So that's weapons and security, and they get the assist roll from the ship, and 1 down, 2 successes. Give me that. Give me that.
Oh jeez. Whoa.
They're firing.
That's a lot of damage.
They're firing disruptor banks to take out your shields because your shields are at 5.
Yep.
And if your shields drop, they're going to fire torpedoes.
Let's go. Fuck.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the disruptor banks open fire on the horizon and deal 2 damage.
Yeah.
Because that was a lot of blanks. But they do 5 effects. So the
Oh,
effects
fuck.
target, even though your shields are being hit, they're targeting sections of your ship. Your weapons are losing power and have to be stabilized.
Okay.
Or you're not going to be able to continue that up.
All right.
So if you continue to use weapons before power has been stabilized, which will take like a task to do, you will be draining power from the ship.
Worth it.
Because these disruptors have that kind of like draining thing going on for them.
Yup.
And they don't fire torpedoes because torpedoes are kind of useless if the shields are still up and running.
Yep.
So they move themselves now from here in between you and the cargo vessels. So the freighter kind of moves in now,
like scooches
and
in.
it's wedging itself into this.
So
zone.
it's basically line of sight blocking us from the cargo vessels.
Yeah. They're
Oh,
laying
they're
down
gonna-
cover for the remaining
They're
pilots.
gonna regret that in a second.
Top of the round, we return to the Mapool in the cargo vessel. There's a whole bunch of mercenaries pouring through, and I'm just spending the
Yeah,
threat in this
outnumbered
scene.
at least 3 to 1. You said. Question: the hallway that I'm in, is there like a latch to outside or a doorway?
Of course
You're just
there
gonna
is.
vent
escape-
dudes into space. you're gonna
Yes.
FTL this.
I'm gonna
FTL this.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm
You're gonna
FTL.
vent
I'm
everyone
glad
into
you
space.
Sounds like a fire to put out.
Yeah, are you
Can I
gonna?
vent all of the pirates into space?
Yes, are you going to evacuate the Klingons from the hallway?
They're Klingons. They can handle themselves. The only Klingon I want to concern myself with is the captain who is unconscious. I want to make sure that he is taken care of before I pull the latch. So I want to get another Klingon to tell him one of the standing Klingons to drag the captain out of this hallway. And as soon as he's clear, I want to blow the latch.
The Klingon is not going to listen to you because that's just not how Klingons act in battle.
Well, then
He will die victoriously in battle, but they're like, you don't give the orders around here.
Then today is a good day to die.
Yeah, the Klingon is in like a rage right now, and it just doesn't hear you. And you're like, isn't anyone going to help this man? And they're like, no.
Fine. Then I'm going to help that man. I'm going to blow the latch, and as soon as I do, I want to grab the captain and with one hand and.
So you're
grab
dragging the
something.
captain out beyond the edge of the bulkhead. Then you're closing the airlock and venting the hallway into space.
That is correct.
Oh my god!
You savage motherfucker.
I got
did
covered
you-
in blood before I did this, so
I
it's okay.
ask again, how did you get into Starfleet? How did you get
Okay.
the psych valve?
Okay. Go ahead and roll for this. I am not even going to add the threat because I already know how I'm going to spend it as
Sure.
soon as it's done.
Sure.
Oh boy!
So I've used one determination already, yeah? Correct?
Yes.
So I don't have any more,
No.
correct?
But do you have any values here
That
we are
applies?
challenging?
Heart of a warrior.
Challenging a value? I am challenging my teamwork value because I'm doing this by myself,
Yeah.
and the other Klingons that I am fighting alongside are not helping me.
Cross it out and gain a determination point.
All right, I'm getting a determination point. so,
shit.
which I spend for that gives me an automatic one,
Yeah.
right?
Like advantage.
Haddock's
and,
going to be the bad guy in the next season, right?
Yeah.
Just like Captain Lorca?
he used to be my XO.
We call
Man,
him war criminal.
This has to be done. This has to be done.
So you butchered
we're out-
innocent people.
We're
goddammit.
outnumbered here.
There are no innocents. They're Klingons.
There are no innocents in the
Hey,
theater of war.
He's already said most of the Klingons that are in this hallway have been dropped, possibly dead. Who knows?
All right, that's fine.
I've saved the captain.
Yeah,
There's
things-
other Klingons that
Things
did
are
not
good.
come down.
The
here
ship is
that are still-
disabled. The crew is out. The captain is down. There are more reinforcements coming through that hull. You don't know how many more are coming.
Oh, as soon as they come through, they're coming into the vacuum of space now, though. So it's okay.
Yeah,
just
their
empty
airlock
that
is open.
ship out.
that hallway anyway.
Roll your dice.
Okay,
Oh.
so I have 3 successes, 2 of which are critical successes.
Okay, I'm just gonna. Here's your momentum. You're gonna need it. So,
Oh boy.
Schofield,
FTL.
you see on your view screen bodies venting out into space from the pool. Both
Most
Klingon,
of which are pirates.
both Klingon and mercenary.
3 to 1. So
a
there's
small,
Haddock's life signs are still strong.
a small part of me regrets muting his channel from all the screams. It's like, I'm just gonna mute that. A few seconds later,
Stephen Prince is all captain. The freighter is overloading its engines. It looks like it's about to self-destruct.
the one
that's attached to the pool?
Yeah. The battle must not be going too well, so they're taking everyone out. And I spend 4 threat immediately out of that.
Oh crap!
You have, given the range of what's going on, a round before the freighter overloads its engines and explodes.
Okay, so that gives me 1 action or 2?
It gives you 1 action or 2 if you spend momentum.
Okay. Do these things have shields, these freighters?
The freighters have shields, but the shields have been dropped in order to board the ship.
Obviously, detonating it with torpedoes would be ill-advised.
I mean,
It would damage the pool.
You might want to just get your commander back.
Beaming back.
Oh, what? For real?
I mean, you could use
Are we
your
abandoning
transporters
the Mapool?
to pull as many Klingons and commander off
Oh, no.
of the ship before it takes it out.
If I can use phasers, I can disable their engines, so they overload nothing if I can disable them.
It's a long range shot. Does the Horizon-
A self-destruct system would be quite difficult to
shut off.
shut off from here,
especially with phaser fire.
especially from across the battlefield and with the difficulty of the eddies and I mean, short of getting on board the
disabling
thing
it
and
on
disabling
board?
it yourself, like you could do a site to site and take Haddock onto
You could
the
send
pirate
me
vessel.
to the pirate vessel. And
Don't
maybe
send me to the pirate vessel.
Or you can scuttle the
I'm not
Mapool.
ready to give up on the Mapool. Are you?
Are you willing to do this? Are you willing to go aboard the pirate ship and shut off their self-destruct, you fucking maniac?
I don't believe in the no-win scenario.
Can you stab the?
That's a
You
yes.
won't be able to.
Alright.
You'll be able to use the transporters on the Klingon ship to do this, rather than the Horizon, which would have to drop its shields in order to pull them out for you. You can do a site to site from the because you can't
the
get on the
Klingon
ship anymore
ship.
because you vented it into space.
Cool. Do I know to do this? Like, cause
Oh yeah, you've
'cause
all reopened
okay.
I
communications.
unmuted your
You're
channel
like,
and
they're
I'm
about
like,
to
what
explode.
the fuck are you doing? Yeah, and then I let you know that the pirate ship attached to you guys is about to self-destruct. You need need to board their ship via the transporters on the Klingon vessel to stop that, or else we lose half our security detail.
Okay. So yes. How do I make this
I would
happen?
You can run to the Klingon transporters.
Captain,
I won't make it one round because this is too better. I will make it to tune in next week. Where
That's a great
we'll bring you
cliffhanger.
to the Klingon transporter room, and you press the button, and like that red Klingon transporter effect beams you. He just disappears, and you beam over to the pirate vessel into their engineering deck. And you've got, I guess, I'm gonna give you a disruptor rifle. You got your MacBeth. And you've got 2 Klingon warriors who volunteered to do this for you.
Nice!
Because today is a good day to die.
And Akul remains on board the
But we're not
Mapul.
gonna
He
die.
will go down with his ship. And he refuses to evacuate. And meanwhile, you have 3 fighters that are still in the air. 3 disabled, attached to cargo vessels. Your shuttle's not doing too well. The Horizon's there, still dealing with the with the freighter there. And we'll resume the bloodbath and beyond.
This is so fucking cool! God!
Come back next week for
Damn
the
it.
finale to the convoy of SE-117.
Son of a bitch.
Bloodbath and beyond.
I have been running this chaos
Fucking
Right here.
circus.
red alert for an entire hour. We haven't had that yet. So we'll bleed this over to next time. For our crew of the Horizon, we'll go in reverse order this time. From our Patreon rewards program, still on the shuttlecraft.
Andy Hughes playing Arjun O'Keefe.
And joining him, piloting that shuttlecraft.
Brent the Closet Geek from the Showhole Podcast as Ensign Steve Armstrong.
And no longer on the Mapul, heading over to the unnamed pirate vessel.
Joshua Barbeau playing crazy Conal Haddock, first officer.
Yeah, they start calling you Crazy Fish. Like
Crazy Conal Haddock. He's gonna save the day.
and
Crazy Horse, but-
Captain, you are responsible for this crew.
I'm just like, I'm the embodiment of that Picard, like face palm. Just, oh my god. Conal MacBeth, better known in the nerd community as Toronto's greatest supervillain and evil genius, Dr. Tarawat, playing Captain Gavin Schofield.
And until next time here on the Terrible Warriors, be good to each other. The Terrible Warriors continues to play Star Trek Adventures every Tuesday through the month of January. For a complete listing of our upcoming schedule, visit terriblewarriors.com. For more information on Star Trek Adventures and the Living Campaign, visit Modiphius.com. If you like what you're hearing and you want to hear more, consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/terriblewarriors. Not only will you get access to exclusive debrief episodes that only Patreon supporters get to hear, but you may also be mentioned in a game as our NPCs, locations we've gone to, name of the ships we blow up, and of course, you could join us right here at the table as our special guest. Today's Terrible Warriors and your crew of the Horizon: Conal MacBeth, Joshua Barbeau, Brent Morris, Justin Ecock, and Patreon supporter Andy Hughes. The Star Trek Adventures Living Campaign will continue next week, right here on the Terrible Warriors.